I want you and that young man to tie that knot. I'm gonna pray for you. And I want you to hold on to God's unchanging hand, because he helped Joshua fight the battle of Jericho.
It's the
Yes.
old
He
dot,
helped
end
Daniel
dot,
get
E
out the
dot,
lion's den.
period.
He helped Gilligan get off the island.
Let me get straight to the business. Got them lions in the building. Why you lying to the children? Why you lying to the children? RIGHTEOUS. Man, you know I've been the best. Man, they know they no contest. Yahuwah, he do the best. We will not see you tomorrow. Cause you cannot go to thought. All the sons and all the daughters. Standing hard with big man daughters. But my son, he made me Taurus. On that line, I'm still a Taurus. Karate kicking Chuck Norris, 4-5 on my waist. If he started, will not hesitate to get retarded. Oh lordy, he ain't got a PowerPoint, he forest. He running to the hills like a Philistine. G-Hawk hitting Hamites with the guillotine. Situation turned up with the ratchet team. JJ 7000 to the bait league. I know them haters gon' hate me, but he won't debate me. Pistol off safety. He respond, come wake me. If I don't get up, nigga shake me. If he don't show up, then he fake G. I touch down and make these nigga nuts hate me. Dear brother. Ballin' and crawling all the way from H-Time. Let me get straight to the business. Man, them lions in the building. Why you lying to them children? Why you lying to them children? You gon' cry, you gon' get it. Me, I'm like a frog, nigga, ribbit. Of course, it's in the spirit. I just got the Porsche, she can steer it. Michael got the raw, Shaq and Willie. Lamborghini doors, you better not spill it. Mama's high, say I'm more than just a villain. Mama's cry, I'm dope and wide for her children. Suicide, immortalized as the realest, yeah. Death by cut, black suicide. Let me get straight to the business. Got them lions in the building. Why you lying to them children? Why you lying to them children? RIGHTEOUS. Man, you know I been the best. Man, they know they no contest. Yahuwah, he do the best. Why didn't they take it over? Number one debate league, you heard me? When it's up, it's stuck. I'm stepping on everything, nigga.
Yeah. Lions in the building. What up, family? Peace and blessings to the chat. Peace and blessings to the chat. It's been a minute. JJ been a little busy doing what he do in his outside life. But sometimes I scroll through these different platforms and I just see guys just rambling their goddamn mouth without a purpose. Before I get into what I gotta get into, I gotta introduce the queen of the building. I'm talking about Sister Karima. Go ahead.
Hey everybody, please hit the like if you haven't liked it yet. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do so. And hope you enjoy the show. Miss y'all.
All right. And I see we got one of the pseudo killers in the building, goddamn me. And he's sick of the nonsense too. I'm talking about my brother Cedric. Go ahead, Cedric, introduce yourself.
Peace and Black Power family. Y'all know I'm an official member of the Pseudo Killer. I'm one of the real Black atheists, and we in these YouTube streets, and we can have our debates and we can have our fun, and it's about the information. But when these streets become pseudo to the point that we got a problem, we need to address it because it's not happening on my watch.
Hey. I don't know what happened yesterday. I don't know. I caught a little taste of what's going on today. Now, me myself, I visited Chris Harris's platform, and the brother Domo, he's into politics. He likes to talk about politics, and he considered himself a political connoisseur or some type, where he kind of got all the answers because he went to a little school to talk about it, I guess. But to me, the brother don't have a solid foundation when it comes to politics, because every time I question him, I'm like, okay, well, Domo, well, who do we supposed to deal with? Should we deal with the Democrats? Should we deal with Republicans? And he never has an answer. So I'm wondering, why should we listen to a guy who can't even give us a solid answer on what political candidate to deal with? I'm not really into politics, but our conversation was about the crime bill, the 1994 crime bill that was passed by, I think, Joe Biden and Bill Clinton.
Mm-hmm.
And the stereotype out there is that blacks really supported this crime bill, and that's not really true, because there was a congressional black caucus that came up with other ideas that was just completely ignored. And that's very important to me, because Domo pushed for us to have some kind of caucus, to have some kind of group that represents us. But when we had a group that represented us, they got completely ignored.
Mm-hmm.
The same type of reform that they do for other communities, like more money spent towards drug rehabilitation, and more money spent towards teaching. That's what the other communities got, where we got under protection and more incarceration. And then we even got the tag that, oh, well, you guys really wanted that. And that's not true, Domo.
You see, what is also disingenuous, but Q Butter's platform was dealing, the subject was the pseudoisms in the community. And one of the pseudoisms was the subject's transgender, and how this pseudoism is permeating society to the point that we now don't have a clue what a man or a woman is. This was the subject matter. So I come into the show rather late, because Q Brother be having these marathon streams. I'm just listening,
Right.
and I hear Renee pushing back on the comment. Well, using the ability to give birth to quantify a woman isn't really good, because not all women give birth. Now, I did not know who made the comment. I was in the chat and I said, who made that stupid ass, ignorant comment? Who did that? Who is up here trying to say that a man with nuts and a penis can equate himself to a female or a woman based on the fact that not all women give birth? Now, I was laughing and joking and clowning whoever it was. Lo and behold, that seemed to be Domo's position. And now I'm continuing to listen, and this is what irks me the most. You claim to be this master debater.
Yeah.
You claim to be this super intellectual. You claim all these things.
Right.
But whenever you're faced with an actual challenge,
Yep.
I see you, bro. You ain't about it. You're clueless. Actually, you're quite clueless. Because if I say avian animals, if I say birds, we're going to say cock and hen, which is the male and the female of birds. When I say man and woman, it's the male and female of the human species. When you say mare and stallion, you're referring to the male and the female of horses. What's the word? Aquarian, whatever. There's a specific word for the breeds, all the breeds. So now when you say stallion and mare, you're referring to the female and the male of that particular species. Man and woman, it defines male and female of the human species and nothing else. There is no fluidity in that. There is none of these talking points. And every time each talking point got rebutted, He kept moving the goalposts, straight
Mhm.
up lying. Nigga was lying, straight up. He category fallacies in his analysis. He said that being a human was negotiable. Look at slavery. And what no incarceration in 2023 diminishes your rights as a human being because you're incarcerated. You, first of all, you can only enslave other humans. So the fact that their humanity wasn't in question. They were enslaving humans. Their treatment and their rights were reduced. But even back then, there were male and female, man and woman on sale. So I don't get at which point in time in history that gender or identity in terms of your pure biology was ever in question. The stupid conversation about gender, equating gender to the word woman and the word man, is bullshit. Gender is considered these attributes we give to the different sexes. And it's the things. When we talk about gender, it's about the things that we attribute. Dresses, woman, gender. No. So don't confuse the things that people do. That is fluid. Me and my dad was having this conversation once before he died. Oh yeah, the woman is supposed to be the one cooking in the house. I say, really, Dad? When you go to a restaurant, who do you expect to find in the kitchen? A chef, and he's supposed to be a man, right? What's the difference? They're both cooking. So yes, we deal with these dumb stereotypes all the time. I'm not the type of brother that's gonna go under the hood of a car. You're gonna find me in the kitchen cooking. I love to clean the bathroom. Does that make me less man? Is my gender then fluid? Get the fuck out, excuse me, get the hell out of here with these stupidities. And then to pretend that you're super intellectual,
That part.
trying to berate everyone else when
That
you do
part.
not have one coherent argument. When a grown man can't answer a simple question, Domo, what's a woman? And he doesn't answer it up until now. Now I'm gonna call you suspect. And I'm wondering which agenda you're coming into this community with. Because it's not intellectualism. Because you sound stupid.
And what mind boggles me is the fact that he always thought that he was on the debate team, and that really he wants to belittle his own people, and he's saying that these people that he was on debating against are way more intellectual than us. But and then when he talks to us, he's just calling us niggas,
Yeah,
niggas,
you can say
niggas,
anything,
niggas.
JJ, but when you're in the hot seat, then your real character comes out. If you are so easily to refer to the word nigger, how is it you engage in intellectual debates in other environments where these words aren't
And that's
permissible?
right. And that's what I asked him. I'm going to play the clip. And I asked him, I said, do you even talk to them like that? And he proceeded to say yes. I said, well, show me the videos.
That
You got
is,
to be on.
he was supposed to provide us with a source for the claim that gender was always fluid. He never brought it. He comes up, creates a whole red herring as his reason for not bringing a source which he doesn't have, lying bitch. Now I'm gonna go there because when you were challenged on the things you were saying,
Mm-hmm.
and on the and point every time Renee, myself, we kept pointing out the fallacies in your argument, Mr. Intellectual. And he did the dumbest thing that every dumbo does because we did not agree and could point out the fallacies in your statement. He regressed to us not being able to understand his
Yeah.
superior intellect.
His
Well, you can
superior
kiss
intellect.
my black ass, you dumb, ignorant nigga, because I can answer what a woman is. It's the female of the human species.
That easy. Just that easy.
That is,
That easy.
that
But
is.
what he does is, like you say, he belittles people.
Cannot
He
belittle me. And you come on there and you know you could see it. I am going to hide my ignorance by my arrogance. I'm going to posture myself in such a way that I'm going to seem that you guys are not able to follow this level of intellectual discourse. However, Following that level of intellectual discourse, you were dismissed on several occasions, proving your arguments are flawed. They are full of fallacies and lack any logical cohesion. Again, for a grown man to not be able to answer the most basic of questions with regards to identity, what is a woman? That means you've never been to primary school and have not gone through the basic steps, which is one is the same, which is different. Again, females exist in all species, most of all species, especially
Right.
the mammalians. And we identify them because of the fundamental difference between the male and the female. We have distinctive names for the
Democrats.
male and the female of species. And in the human sense of the word, we use man and woman. So now that you're confused about that simple fact, that fact alone lets me know that your intellectual capacity is suspect. That you are going to come into this community and try to convince grown ass men that we do not know what a man or a woman is because of your confusion and pretend to be intellectually superior. Nigga, please.
Right. Hey, hold on, say let me. So we got two problems going on with this guy. Cedric had an interaction with him, and then I had one today. Mine was a little different than Cedric's. His was about gender. Mine was about. I mean, Domo have always had this conversation. What are the benefits of voting? Who should we vote for? Why? Why you only say we should vote local? These are some of the questions that I asked him, and he never have an answer. So let's go ahead and just play this real quick. This is this copyright. How do you say that? Just for educational purposes only, and things of that nature. Here we go. Can y'all hear it?
The Democrat Republican paradigm.
Can y'all hear that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, keep in mind, this guy goes around the community and he claims he's a political plug. He reminded me of that guy on Good Times when he was going against Alderman Davis, a little young guy that's trying to come up, and he just keep losing.
Michael.
So let's check this out. Here we go.
It's counterproductive for black people. That's white on white violence. That's white on white violence. There is no true Democrat philosophy, no true Republican philosophy. It's people that those groups are willing to appeal to. And that's what makes it hard for third parties. I think, and Psycho brought this up the other day. Ross Perot, for example, ruined it for Republicans when what was it, Clinton beat Bush, right? But then Republicans started appealing to Ross Perot voters. So all those voters that left the Republican Party to vote for Ross came back because the Republican Party started to appeal, because it's fluid. This shit is not static. Republican does not mean one thing. Democrat does not mean one thing. And so we got to understand in what ways are they using this type of propaganda in order for us to understand, in order for us to get them to vote for us. Like, if y'all go, when I first, like, y'all see my social media handle, the political plug. When I first started doing that shit, the first like 5 videos I made was called on Instagram was called "I'm not a Democrat, I'm black." I am not a Democrat, I'm black. The reason why I felt like I needed to make that known is because anytime we talking about shit that got to do with black people, like poverty, like racism, you feel me? Like having more progressive education policies, getting more, getting more funding to the hood, that type of shit. Since Democrats co-opted those talking points, they say that we Democrats for saying the shit that we care about, when it's the other way around. They saying that shit to appeal to us. They saying that shit so they can make it seem like they with us. When we say it, that don't mean we fucking with them. But it's niggas that I've interacted with to this day that'll fucking tell you that Domo is a Democrat.
So, through history, let me rephrase the question. Which political party?
See, so I must have skipped the part where I asked my original question. And my original question is, which party should we deal with? which one has benefited us the most, or something like that. So I'm rephrasing it because he just danced all the way around it like he normally do. Watch this. Here we go.
Has helped the black man the most, and why? Democrats or Republicans?
It wasn't. That's what I'm saying. It wasn't political parties. They both worked against.
He said there wasn't political parties. Democrats are named or called a political party. Republicans are called a political party. But Domo seems to want to change things around to his own understanding. Watch it.
Against us, and they both voted for shit that helped us. There is no clear division on who did what because they both played fucked up roles and beneficial roles. And I mean, we can go down the line and identify where that is. Because like for example,
the Democrats were more into the they were more into the racist type of Reconstruction type of Jim Crow type of laws and stuff like that. It wasn't the Republicans, right?
Right, back in the day, right? Democrats,
right.
Yeah, Democrats was
commissioned
to kick me off their pants, like not give.
Let me get to the meat and potatoes, y'all. Hold
Feel
on.
like getting up off their couch, but the whole thing is
in the crack era, right? Man,
we're being deemed like what? Not because not even just the super predator shit. Like it was
they didn't lock their car doors. Go ask your grandma.
I don't waste my time with this debate shit,
then
bro.
Don't waste your time. Peace.
Here we go.
Black. Regardless of if you think he black or not. Give me another example where black people said they did something simply because it was a black person. Give me an example how many times just because it's black people we came together and said we support it. It don't happen.
I'll give you an example right now. When some of us debate that white boy, what's his goddamn name? Vocab Malone. He might whoop some of these niggas' asses, goddamn it. But some of y'all will vote for the black man. That's a fact.
No, I mean that's what I'm saying. I stand with. I'm not a Hebrew Israelite at all. I'm more of a Christian. Fuck Vocab Malone.
Yeah, I get it.
Fuck.
But Vocab Malone is a Christian, Domo. Why would you say fuck Vocab Malone? You're a Christian. He's a Christian. Anyway, let's keep moving.
But and everything he stands for.
So let's get back to Joe Biden. So
Why?
would you recommend him? He don't even want to apologize for his crime bill. At least Clinton said it was a mistake.
yeah,
At least Donald Trump came up. Hold on. At least Donald Trump came with the first step. You know what I'm saying? Letting some of these people who were affected by this 3 strikes law out of prison.
Obama did that too.
Right.
Actually, Obama commuted more niggas than Trump did. That's what I'm saying. Niggas ignore that. But continue. Go ahead. Continue. And remember, Joe Biden was Obama's.
I don't really like neither one. I don't like none of them. But I'm just saying you do got to do something.
Compare them.
Let me tell you why. Okay.
Niggas can't say I don't like either one of them and then be like, but this one, like if you don't like either.
So why come I can't say I don't like either one of them? That's my choice. And see, that's the thing with politics. They make you pick one or the other when you place your vote. Because one or the other has the majority of the money, has the majority of the backing. All this in the middle independent shit, that don't never ride. We never win with that, Domo. So my stance on politics is different from yours. I don't really see how it has advanced us as a people, but you keep pushing, we must deal with politics, but you never give us a route to go because you're always playing both sides. Look at this guy.
The one of them, then what the fuck we like? What do we like? I understand
because we're okay now. See, since we want to go there, because I want to see what either one of these motherfuckers is doing. You just said we got to pick and choose out of the bag what good they do and overlook the evil because you can't tell which one is the best. Hold up, bro. Let me land. You've been rambling for the last 3 hours, bro. Can somebody else get in?
JJ,
can somebody else get in, Domo?
Once you said,
can somebody else get in, brother?
JJ, once you say,
you like hearing yourself talk.
Yes, I do. That's
I
why
see.
I'm doing it.
And,
that's why
there it is. At least he admits and knows one of his flaws, and that is I like to hear myself talk. What do you think about that, Cedric? You still there?
That is indeed this brother's biggest problem because he can't answer a question. Democrats evil, Republicans evil, Republicans bad, Democrats bad. The question was, who do we vote for? So, since both parties are bad, I suggest we vote based on. You're not answering the question. You just love to hear yourself talk and talk and talk and contradict yourself while you're talking yourself into circles. Like he literally enjoys hearing himself ramble off some nonsense, as if us being quiet, listening to him ramble, makes him somehow feel better. These cats got issues. Mind you, he still hasn't put a position down. Since you're the political plug us. What is the course of action? Well, based on my understanding and my history of political science, these are the steps we require to do. We need to do. Nothing.
Right.
You're just sounding intellectual. That's easy to do.
Easy.
But you're saying absolutely bullshit nothing.
That's what he does. Y'all just heard it here first. I do. I like to hear myself speak. And when you talking to a brother like that, there's no reason to even keep having a conversation because he's not going to listen to a word you say. Let's hear it again. Hold on. Here we go. Here we go. Look at this guy.
And then culturally, what we're going to expect, politically speaking, what we're not going to accept, politically speaking, socially speaking. That's what a function of culture is. The way you wear your hair. You know what I'm saying? How y'all talk. What's acceptable around grandma. All of this is a function of culture. You know what I'm saying? And we have to have standards in order to have a defined culture.
And this is why black culture is always in a conundrum. Because what we have to understand is we are socialized in an anti-black society. Anti-black.
You see, he always want to try to use these words to sound intelligent, and in a few seconds he's going to contradict himself.
Blackness is our default. We are socialized to look at blackness through a negative lens. Everything that y'all and I'm gonna say,
he act like he telling us something that we don't already know. You hog the mic for 30 minutes telling us shit that we don't already
know. We know.
And then, like you say, when you challenge upon making your position, stating the position, then you get on defense mode. Then you want to say, well, you know, I went to Graham College and I was on the debate team. And who are you debating? You were debating white boys. Their problems don't have nothing to do with us. We talking about your peers, our peers. That's important to us, not their little rules.
Get out.
But then, like I said, what the way you speak to us, like you speak down on us, you call us niggas, we don't understand. I said, well, do you talk to them like that? He said, yeah, I do. I said,
no, he can't. No, he can't.
He know he can't.
He can't. No, he can't. So he's coming over here. He's coming over here, and what he thinks is an intellectually inferior environment, and he doesn't understand that people over here can dine with kings and queens and live in the slums, dude. You like Domo. Let's face it. The places and the environments I've been in, you're never gonna see, nigga. For the simple fact that once you get some pressure, you cannot keep your composure. Not even in a simple conversation, let me know. You were never in an environment where you were actually challenged. You see, now I debate with ministers. Public office, I write national policies. I move cultures. Like, we are on different levels, Domo. No, you're not my intellectual equal. You will never ever be able to sit and have a coherent conversation with me because I'm just way too disciplined for somebody like you. Like, I would not allow you to move the goalpost. Your frustration level was so high because I said we're having a scientific discussion on classification of a human being. We're not having a political one because a political one is a subjective one. It's going to go any and everywhere. We're having a conversation about pseudoisms in the community and in the world that is causing a confusion. And one of these pseudoisms is that a dude can ever for whatever reason, imagine himself to be a woman. And we have to adapt society to fit his delusion. And you're claiming that that is actually possible. And he's went, I've been studying human identity for years. And it's but when you got pinned down, that philosophy that you were studying, that vanished out of the room. It ran away because you couldn't bring up one coherent philosophical point which says that man doesn't mean male for the human species. You could not get around that simple definition. And the matter of fact that once proposed, once the question was finally, you could not run away from it because I kept asking you the same simple question, Domo.
Right.
What is a woman? The silence says, I do not ever need to listen to anything you say in any level of discussion because you do not have the basic intellect to identify a woman as a female and a female as a woman. Dude, you suspect.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, he likes to hear himself speak. But hold up. So we're gonna get to our. It's about over. It's like a two minute go. I left. I'm like, I don't have time for this. So let's as y'all know through this whole video, he just rants and like to hear himself speak. He even admitted it. You have a problem, Domo, some kind of narcissistic type of syndrome. That's my diagnosis. You probably won't take my diagnosis because I'm not the white man. But anyway, like I say, you lied and you said this is how you speak to your college people in your debates. I know it's a lie because I asked you to pull up the tape. He refused. Watch this. Here we go.
Hey, everything that is considered normal was given to us during slavery from the slave masters. Our perspective of the world, like the perspective of the world from like our ancestors going back, was complete. Like,
if you know all this, don't you know that these same people created the government that you so patriotic to, so self-endowed, and so I pledge allegiance to this democracy by the hands of the however it go. That's you.
In 2023, using any indoctrination that was introduced 400 years ago is still applicable today in today's modern society. We have other mechanisms of understanding reality. Our paradigm is nothing to do with one that existed 400 years ago. You see, these flawed arguments that are put on the table, right? Like he's trying to push black people in a victimhood mentality when black people don't have that mentality no more. You're talking about you going to Brown College, haven't developed an education, but yet you speak of black people as if we're less. Dude, I studied in Europe. Dude, I studied in a foreign language. I speak 4 languages as a black man. I'm a biochemical engineer. What the fuck are you talking about? What is your degree in? What can you do? What can you say? Okay, I am this. You went to Brown College, you're part of the debate team. Good, I went to college too. We debate for fun. I got to defend everything I put on paper. I debate for fun, dude. I didn't need to go on a debate team, but I have an actual profession. What's yours? Like, don't come over here.
College, everybody. Brown nose college, and now he's sitting up here acting like his nose ain't dirty. Like his shit don't stink when he come around us. And that's your problem, bro. You're losing the respect of your own people just by the arrogance that you have when you come around us. Listen to this guy.
That shit got made completely null and void. You can't speak the language. Don't keep them fucking names. I don't want to see y'all doing them fucking dances. Don't sing them motherfucking songs. And if them drums get on my nerves, I'm throwing them shits away too. So
look, the political plug.
Over time, in order to survive, we had to look at blackness through a negative perspective because we didn't want the attention of the slave master. That's where you get respectability politics. You gotta keep yourself together. You gotta act right, so they don't think that you don't want them white people thinking you. That go all the way back to slavery. And so even though like criminality has looked different over time, blackness is always seen as deviant. I mean, that's why black people always got to check themselves in social spaces. Why black parents are always cognizant about how you're being perceived in front of the people, in front of the places. Don't have them white people thinking X. Don't have them white people thinking this. Why? Because if white people start thinking that, our home is now in danger. You are now in danger as my child. And so what we have to recognize is we have to be willing to interrogate what we understand about the world. We don't do that. That's why you got all these niggas like the Kevin Samuels of the world and the other and like the Prince Cella chick, like all of that shit. You have these people because they're and Candace Owens,
just rambling,
motherfuckers like that. Even with Kanye on and shit, these people exist is because there is political capital in talking shit about black people. The society rewards you for talking shit about black people, telling black people this is what y'all need to do, this is what's wrong with y'all. You are rewarded for that. You get views for that. You get attention for that. You get an audience for that. It's easier for people to eat up shit that says that black people ain't shit, that they lazy, that they need to do better, that they ain't doing shit with their life, than being like, hey, let's be compassionate. I've told niggas, I was on the panel, I think maybe it was with some Hebrews or whatever, and I used to tell niggas, like, and they was talking about the sisters, and I'm like, bro, I think that the issue that I have with y'all is just like, with everything we know about how the world treats us, black people should at least be compassionate and be patient with the black people.
Let's see how
so even with our criticisms of what we want to see better in our community, we should be more compassionate. More compassionate our people.
The hypocrisy that is on display right now is ridiculous.
Niggas got the nerve to tell me, nah, we too
right. He just rambled.
Passionate.
You say something, Sid?
I said the hypocrisy that is on display right now.
Right.
He's accusing. He does the exact same thing. He talks down to black people. He's on these panel calling people niggas and ignorant because we don't agree that we know what a woman is. We're ignorant. You are talking down to black people. You, my brother, you're pointing the finger at yourself. This is how you feel.
This is a self-intervention. It's a self-intervention, basically what it is.
Exactly.
In the mirror when he actually.
That's exactly what he's doing. This is how I feel about black people. That's why I come over in these streets and think I'm better than y'all and try to talk down to y'all because I went to Brown College and I'm a super sophisticated pseudo. Brown Nose College, and I'm a super sophisticated pseudo who can't answer a question. What is a woman? Who you coming to school, dude? My 5-year-old girl could answer that question.
Sophisticated pseudo, I like that. Yeah. Brown Nose College, man. Come on, bro. Yeah, look, he just rambling. Now you talking about be compassionate and patient. Let's see how compassionate and patient he is when it's my turn to speak, y'all. Let's see. Hold up. All right, here we go. Hold up, there. Technical problems. Damn.
Them black people.
There you go.
Who? And I'm gonna piss y'all off with this one. I had no problem with black people saying they voted for Obama because he was black, regardless of if you think he black or not. Give me another example where black people said they did something simply because it was a black person. Give me an example of how many times just because it's black people we came together and said we support it. It don't happen.
I'll give you an example right now. When some of us debate that white boy, what's his goddamn name? Vocab Malone. He might whoop some of these niggas' asses, goddamn it. But some of y'all will vote for the black man. That's a fact.
No, I mean that's what I'm saying. I stand with. I'm not a Hebrew Israelite at all. I'm more of a Christian. Fuck Vocab Malone.
Yeah, I get it.
Fuck Vocab Malone. But and everything he stands for.
So what? So let's get back to Joe Biden. So would you recommend him? He don't even want to apologize for his crime bill. At least Clinton said it was a mistake. Yeah, at least Donald Trump came up. Hold on. At least Donald Trump came with the First Step Act. You know what I'm saying? Letting some of these people who were affected by this 3 strikes law out of prison.
Obama did that too.
Right.
Actually, Obama commuted more niggas than Trump did. That's what I'm saying. Niggas ignore that. But continue. Go ahead, continue. And remember, Joe Biden was Obama's.
I mean, I don't really like neither one. I don't like none of them. But I'm just saying you do got to do something.
Compare them.
Let me tell you why. Okay.
Niggas can't say I don't like either one of them.
He don't let nobody speak.
Like, if you don't like either one of them, then what the fuck we like? What do we like? I understand
because we're okay now. Since we want to go there, because I want to see what either one of these motherfuckers is doing. You just said we got to pick and choose out of the bag what good they do and overlook the evil. Because you can't tell which one.
Who used the word
hold up, bro. Let me land. You've been rambling for the last 3 hours, bro. Can somebody else get in?
JJ,
can somebody else get in, Domo?
Once you said,
can somebody else get in, brother?
JJ, once you say,
you like hearing yourself talk.
Yes, I do. That's why I'm gonna keep doing it. That's why I'm gonna keep doing it.
Well, then see, that's why I'm not gonna waste my time, brother. I'm not gonna waste my time because when somebody else throws something else out there,
you don't have to.
Because when somebody else throws something out there, you get disrespectful when they don't agree with you.
No, it ain't because you don't agree with me. You characterize me as rambling. Once you characterize me as rambling, I ain't like. Why should I respect?
You've been speaking. Let me talk to White Collars way. You've been speaking on rambunctiously for the last goddamn 2 hours.
You've been asking me questions, nigga.
So I'm asking the panel.
Anybody vote?
How do, bro? You started
niggas
ask
like
questions now.
Then niggas say niggas is rambling.
Bro, come on, man. When you talk to them white people, do you be calling them niggas?
Yes.
No, you don't.
Yes, the fuck I do. Yes,
because you want us to be like them in your college debate.
No.
We gotta talk
my senior year, my last year of college debate, all I did is say nigga. My last year of debate.
You wasn't calling them white opponents niggas, bro. Cut it out. I want to see it on film.
Talking about?
Pull up the tape right now. Pull up the tape right now. You calling white boys niggas doing your debate. I dare you. So stop it. Now the first step,
he don't know who he talking to,
bro.
He don't know who he talking to.
Did you interrupt the white people when they were talking?
Yes,
no, you didn't.
Yes.
No, you didn't.
Fuck you mean?
No, you didn't, man. You change when you get around us. Act like I'm one of the white boys and let me speak.
You don't
act like I'm one of the white boys and let me speak, please.
I'm gonna treat you like I treat the white boys, and I'm gonna interrupt you.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Yes,
pull up a tape right now. You doing?
You don't know.
Pull up a tape. Okay. Pull up a tape right now. Domo debating since you brag on. First of all, you debating white boys.
Do your research.
Their white problems have nothing to do with what we got going on. So them little victories don't count.
Stupid.
Because I know you ain't calling them niggas.
It's policy debate.
You're not calling them niggas, bro. You franking. You capping.
That niggas is slow. Y'all see what I bring to the conversation?
But you know what I'm gonna say? You see what the level of intelligence we bring when somebody do not agree with this guy? Then let me finish my statement.
You started being disrespectful. So once niggas start being disrespectful, I don't give a fuck about the nice shit.
Yeah, I see, but the white boys get a pass. You can't show me you doing it to a white boy. So pull up the tape, then.
If you can see it or not.
Pull up the tape.
I ain't doing no extra. Do your research.
Pull up the tape.
I ain't doing no work for you.
Pull up the tape. Yeah, I'm a weak ass nigga now because I don't agree with you.
Look, you see how he is, Cedric? You see him?
That dude is a clown. A straight up clown. Nigga, you rambling for 3 hours. Dude, you that emotional? You that sensitive? You a debater and you that sensitive when somebody said you're rambling? After you said you like to hear yourself speak, nigga, you rambling. Is that disrespectful, Domo? Because he said you're rambling?
Come on, bro. No, that is a tactic you use to keep running your goddamn mouth because you already admitted you like to hear yourself talk and you don't give a fuck about nobody else.
Yeah, rambling.
Slow-mo is your name because your tactic is weak, slow-mo, but you think you're being slick, slow-mo. Speed it up, slow-mo. The hell wrong with you? Like we're supposed to bow down to you because you went to Brown Nose College. You the political plug, but can't even tell us why we should vote or which party we should deal with. You got us scattered everywhere. Well, you should just go with both. I mean, what type of bullshit is that, bro? When you're in the voting booth,
you're in the booth and you need to go with both.
Come on, man. And then they got voter suppression going on in Texas, all type of black voter suppression. Making it hard for us to vote. How do we overcome that, brother?
But you're not gonna get an answer because he just wants to sound intellectual. He doesn't want to actually bring something to the table. Like as a black power, we need to do this, we need to do this. This is steps we need to take. Like Reggie, he talks about a black city plan. He has a coherent plan for
At
black
least
people.
you got a
What
plan.
these cats got is a lot of mumbo jumbo slick talk, but don't stand on anything.
At least you got a plan. This dude don't even give you anything. The political plug. How did we get over redlining and stuff like that and voter suppression first? Let's start there, Domo. You should start with the basics. How do we overcome this crime bill that's still affecting us to this day? What do we do as a people? Because the Black Caucus, I mean, at that time they wasn't going for it. They didn't really want that. But they got overlooked. It's just like it was a silent treatment. Like they didn't even hear it. Selective hearing what was going on. And they put it on us like we just implemented this shit. And now, because of this, a lot of us are affected by life imprisonments because of 3 strikes. The school to prison pipeline because of this. And you want us to put who do we put our trust in, Domo? The political plug? What candidate? Oh, we independent party and independent what? What kind of noise is they making in Washington, nigga? When they voted for this goddamn crime bill, it was only one independent that voted for that shit. It was 164 goddamn Democrats and then like 32 Republicans that said yeah. 64 other Democrats said no, and 133 other Republicans said yeah. However it went, it was more Democrats going for that shit. They flip-flop. They go back and forth, some of these people as candidates. How do we trust them, Domo? Political plug? You confused yourself. You say you don't deal with the Democrats, but then when you say something about them, you come to their defense. Come on, man. Let's listen to the rest of this, and we can take this off the screen.
Domo.
You didn't agree with me from the beginning.
Shut up,
My
nigga.
niggas is stupid.
Shut up, nigga. You're running around here pushing for us to vote for these goddamn motherfuckers. And then when I ask you which one is best, look, he avoided my whole entire questions from the beginning. Because when I went into which one is done the best for the community, you know what he said? Oh, hey, well, you know, some of them and some of them. You didn't answer the question, bro. You went on a goddamn 35-minute rant. And you still running your goddamn mouth.
If y'all impressed with JJ, put a 1 in the chat.
It don't matter. They don't need to be impressed with me. I'm showing you yourself.
If JJ dropping knowledge, put 1 in the chat.
You're not all this politically sound as you try to claim to be,
I'm more
bro.
political sounding.
Okay, well, tell me who we supposed to vote for. Who we supposed to vote for?
I'm more political.
Who we supposed to vote for? Huh? Political plug?
Nobody know. I don't want to hear no local shit, nigga. Which one of these goddamn candidates is going to lead us to the right?
You don't want to hear no local shit. You don't know what the fuck you talking about.
No, you don't know what you talking about.
You don't want to hear no local shit. You don't know what the fuck you talking about.
What's the first step back?
You dumb.
Tell me the three things that affected us from the crime bill, bro. Tell us right now.
You fucking
tell us right now.
That's what now Mr. Intellectual resorts to calling me dumb. He didn't call me stupid all out here. He hasn't given me even if you in politics, they'd be like, Speaker, can I have the floor for 1 or 2 minutes? You should even know that, Mr. Debate College, Brown Nose alumni. You should know that. But it's obvious that you respect the white man more than your own people, but then you want to come on here and tell us what we should do and what we should not do. Political plug. You've been exposed as a fraud. Go ahead, Seth. You want to say something else?
I'm gonna tell you, you're dumb.
Tell us right now.
What I'm gonna tell you.
Look, I'm dumb. Y'all see that? Dude, a joke.
See, when you get challenged, bro, you get emotional, bro. This is why I don't waste my time with this debate shit,
then
bro.
Don't waste your time. Peace. Don't waste your time, ho.
Now I'm a hoe. Y'all see this? It's got funny, man. Uh-oh. All right. So let me start my screen for a minute. So what you think about that, Kareem? If you're there.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's I already told you he's weird. Um that dude, he's all about himself. He was doing that over there on Solar Vision Debate League. He he be all over the place. I never understood him.
All right. Let me. So while we talking about the crime bill, let me just share a little information about it. And I'm gonna get back to doing what I gotta do. You know, because like I said, I used to waste a whole lot of time. Going back and forth with these dudes, but then some of them just ain't gonna change. Some of them gonna be the same way. Everybody knows Domo tendencies and Hayek. So why waste time? I gave him the energy today. That's what he wanted. But if you ain't learning nothing from him, I don't understand why he's. Yeah, Domo said that he was an ally to the L. What? Domo said that he was an ally to the LGBT community. Ask him, he's out marching with them or in the parades. Oh man! And then somebody said the local government is one of the most treacherous. A lot of these guys they want to say, "Hey, let's just deal with the local government," you know. But you know, I don't know. I don't really get too involved with it because it's like even when you do have a caucus of people of representing you, it's like they get overlooked. Let me show you the article. Hold up, then we can get up out of here. Let's see. Blacks are being erased. Black voter suppression. Oh, let me read you this black voter suppression real quick. Let's see. Screen sharing, Karima. Oh man,
Yeah, I've been sharing.
okay, hold on. Where's that article? This ain't the one. Hold up. Okay, hold up. Go to the one. Okay, what? Okay, let's start right here. Tell me if you can see this.
I can see it.
All right. This was in the New York Times. Did blacks really endorse the 1994 crime bill? Y'all always hear that. Yeah, yeah. Well, why we complaining? We the one. This is what they push. We the ones that really not, true. So hold up. All right. It says as political candidates and pundits grapple with the legacy of the 1994 crime bill and the era of mass
I
incarceration.
don't see that. I don't see
Oh, you don't
that.
see nothing? Oh, for real?
No, you must be on another screen.
Okay, hold up. Hold up.
I see the search site, but I don't see the page that you own.
All right, hold on. Let me do it again. I'm a little rusty. All right, hold up. Let's see. Oh, suppression button. Okay. Now ask me. Now, can you see it?
Yep, I see it.
All right, this comes from the New York Times. Uh, did blacks really endorse the 1994 crime bill? I don't know if y'all have heard that, but I've heard it before. Well, when we get to discussing this type of topic, that yeah, oh, well, your own people really endorse it. Well, no, we were looking for different ways of how to help with the problem in the community, like you say, with more drug programs, more education about it, things of that nature. Just like y'all do for the other nationalities in their communities. But when it comes to the black and the Hispanics, it's a whole different ball game. Now it's more prison time and under protection. You see, let's read it. Says, as political candidates and pundits grapple with the legacy of the 1994 crime bill and the era of mass incarceration that has seen millions of African Americans locked in the nation's prisons, one defense keep popping up: the black citizens asked for it. When confronted about her husband's political support of the bill, Hillary Clinton argued, even as she admitted the legislation's shortcomings, that the bill was a response to the great demand, not just for America writ large, but from the black community to get tougher on crimes. Yet the historical record reveals a different story. Y'all hear that? Historical record reveals a whole different story. But that was over the years I've been over the internet. That's all. Oh, we asked for it. Yeah, you was shit. It's only goddamn black ass fault. Y'all know how they do. Instead of being the unintended consequence of the democratic process at work, punitive crime policy is a result of a process of selectively hearing black voices on the question of crime. Selective hearing. The Black Caucus was asked for something else, but they selectively heard only few things that we do want you to be harder on certain things, but damn, you gonna hit us like that? Why didn't you use the same policies you use in these other communities? That the people who didn't look like us, Domo, but you want us to trust these people? There's no question that by the early 1990s, blacks wanted an immediate response to the crime, violence, and drug markets in their community. But let's keep in mind that these are the same people who put the drugs in our community, who put the guns in our community. But even at the time, many were asking for something different from the crime bill. Y'all heard that? Even at the time. It says calls for tough sentencing and police protection were paired with calls for full employment, quality education, and drug treatment, and criticism of police brutality. This is what we were asking for. Drug treatment, quality education, and criticism of police brutality. What did we get? Omo? It's not that these demands were ignored completely. It's that some elements were elevated and others were dismissed because of selective hearing. Policymakers pointed to black support for greater punishment and surveillance. Policymakers pointed to black support for greater punishment and surveillance without recognizing accompanying demands to redirect power and economic resources to low-income minority communities. When blacks ask for better policing, legislators tend to hear more instead. Selective hearing has a deep history. In the progressive era, W.E. Du Bois and Ida D. Wells called for state authorities to offer blacks the same social investments. So, Domo, we're asking these people, these political people, for the same social investment that reformers use to manage crime in white immigrant communities. But their selective hearing, they were listening to the ball game at that time when we said this. How do we trust these people, Domo? Democrat, Republican, independent, how? You can't even give us an answer. But while whites receive rehabilitation, y'all, they receive welfare programs, black citizens found themselves overpunished and underprotected. But we asked for it, right? No, we asked for the same thing that they did for the whites. So during the 1960s, blacks argued for full social economic inclusion, and at the end of discriminatory policing, which they argued was a root cause of that decade's urban unrest. Instead, they got military police forces and riot tanks in the ominous Crime Control and Safe Streets Acts of 1968. This is what we got. In the ashes of the war on poverty and the trend accelerated. The penal system ballooned, while social supports directed towards the poorest and most vulnerable declined precipitously. Black leaders argued for full employment in the press on the floor of Congress. We're arguing for it in Congress. Our voices are not being heard. Domo urged voters of their draconian legislation. These draconian means just outlandish laws that can be handled more in a civil way. This draconian legislation, these real, this comes from like over there in Greece and the Greeks and all that type of shit. These hard ass laws. So these draconian legislations and drafted their own bills to support community-led anti-crime programs, and all too little avail. Keep reading. Now, flash forward to the Clinton era. As soon as Chuck Schumer, Joseph R. Biden Jr., and others introduced their bipartisan crime bill in September 1993, groups representing Black communities pushed back. The NAACP called it crime against the American people. While supporting the idea of addressing crime, members of the Congressional Black Caucus criticized the bill and introduced an alternative bill. We even introduced an alternative bill, Domo, that involved investments in prevention and alternatives to incarceration. We wanted to devote $2 billion or more on drug treatment and $3 million more in early intervention programs, Domo. The caucus, you said we need a Black caucus, we need a Black voice. This is the only way that we can make it in politics. But we tried this. Look what it did. Nothing. The caucus also put forward the Racial Justice Act, which would have made it possible to use statistical evidence of racial bias to challenge death sentences. Given the history of selective hearing, what followed was no surprise. Black support for anti-crime legislation was highlighted, while Black criticism of specific legislation was tuned out. How did we get a fair shake in politics, Domo? What's your solution to that? They have selective hearing and we get tuned out. How do we win? You can come on here and answer the questions right now, bro. The caucus threatened to stall the bill, but lawmakers scrapped the Racial Justice Act when Republicans promised to filibuster any legislation that adopted its measures. In final negotiation, Democrat leadership yielded to Republicans, demanding that prevention or welfare for criminals, as ones called it, be sliced in exchange for their votes. Senator Robert Dole insisted that the focus be on cutting pork, not cutting prisons or police. The compromise estimated $2.5 billion in social spending and only $800 million in prison expenditures. This presented Black lawmakers with a dilemma. See, we always got a dilemma, us Black lawmakers. Defeating the bill might pave the way for something even more draconian down the line and lose critical prevention funding still in the bill. Ultimately, 26 of the 38 voting members supported the legislation, but those who broke ranks did so loudly. As Representative Robert C. Scott of Virginia explains, you couldn't ask an opponent of abortion to look at a bill, the greatest expansion of abortion in the history of the United States, and argue that he ought to vote for it because it's got some highway funding in it. I mean, there's more to this article. We can finish it out. This is the last paragraph. Mr. Scott said it's right. The bill allocated federal funds for up to 75% of the cost of new prisons, defined 60 new capital offenses, constricted inmates access to higher education, and it introduced 100,000 more police officers. Less than a quarter of the funding went to prevention programs. Y'all heard that? Less than a quarter went to prevention programs. How's this helping us? Over 2 decades later, this legislation continues to shape the lives of millions of African Americans, overwhelmingly for the worse. This legislation further entrenched the idea that vulnerable urban communities are best managed through harsh punishments and heightened surveillance. It's the only way they can deal with us, because we're less than human in their eyes. Making our neighborhoods places of mobility and fortune, not disinvestment and confinement, means that the voices of the people most affected must be heard and heeded. As we debate how to switch courses, our popular understanding of the rise of get tough laws should not layer selective memory atop selective hearing of the past by justifying black incarceration with trite references to black voices. You see? It's like, to me, when we dealing in politics, hold up, y'all. We in a lose-lose situation. But we have somebody like Domo who wants to come to us and say that we're unintelligent if we don't deal in politics. But that's your thing. So, but then when I question you on your thing, you get defensive. You just earlier in your conversation, if y'all don't remember, he said we gotta have compassion and patience with each other. Where was your patience when it was my turn to speak? How is that compassionate calling me dumb and stupid? If you give a fool enough rope, they'll keep hanging himself. Just let him keep talking and he'll contradict himself. Let me show you one more thing on the crime bill, and then we can get up out of here. This weekend, Corey TKO Dawson and what's the other brother name? I apologize, but they're having a debate this Saturday on the 30th. Was the Ten Commandments influenced by the 42 negative confessions of my? So that's what's going on with that. But let me show you something else, and then we get up out of here. I just thought Domo maybe should see himself in the mirror. You know, he been running around doing this for a while, like Karima said. The brother damn near cried when he lost his last debate over there on Solar Vision. It was bad. But I went to Brown Nose College. How dare you pick brother Shami, whatever his name was, over me? Like, wow, this brother having a mental breakdown over a debate. Okay, what's going on? Okay, let's see. All right, hold up. Here it is. All right, Corinne, let me share this and we're going to get up out of here. We're going to show some of the more effects of this what they call it, the crime bill. Now, we already showed that there were people fighting for us who said, can we get different alternatives? And the selective hearing kicked in with the majority of these politicians. That's what happened. All right, hold up. Where's it at? Just seeing that. Damn. So called American Progress. I don't see it. Is this it? Let's see. Hold up, though. Hit that like, share, and subscribe. Oh, well, here it is. Right, okay, yeah. Right here. All right. Let me know when you see the screen, Karima.
I see it.
All right. So, Domo, like I told you before when I first met you, I don't think voting has really helped us from the Reconstruction days. I mean, some things have changed, but has it really put us in a better position in life? Our people have been voting for a long time, and I don't see fair treatment. All right, so 3 ways the 1994 crime bill continues to hurt communities of color. Lawmakers must dismantle the crime bill, harmful policy, and enact solutions that reduce reliance on incarceration, prevent unnecessary criminalization, and eliminate the draconian laws keeping millions of Americans in prisons. I'm going to sign up for that. Hold on. Okay. All right. So this year marks the 25th anniversary of the passing of the most sweeping crime bill in U.S. history, the Violent Crime Control and Law Enforcement Act of 1994, also known as the Crime Bill. In many ways, this 350-page bill passage characterized the bipartisan, tough on crime movement of the late 20th century. While the bill contained a handful of positive provisions, such as increased accountability of law enforcement and new protections for survivors of domestic violence and sexual assault, is also responsible for exacerbating racial disparities in criminal justice involvement. A previous CAP work has pointed out the bill continued to ongoing rampant police misconduct and racial profiling by deploying hundreds of thousands of officers into neighborhoods of color. And it jeopardized reentry for returning people of color by eliminating their Pell Grant eligibility. Look at that. We can't even get Pell Grants anymore while in prison. See? I thought the prison was supposed to reform you. The bill also expanded the use of the death penalty, imposed mandatory life sentences for individuals with 3 or more felony convictions, and levied harsh new penalties for justice involving youth. Many of these harmful provisions remain in effect today and continue to target and destabilize communities of color. Here are 3 different ways in 1994 the crime bill continues to undermine the safety and well-being of communities of color. Authorize the death penalty for 60 new federal offenses, known as the direct descent of lynching. The death penalty has always targeted and terrorized Black and Latino communities. The Crime Bill Federal Death Penalty Act permitted the use of death penalty for 60 new federal offenses, including certain drug offenses not related to a homicide. In the 5 years following the bill passage, 74% of defendants with death penalty recommendations for federal prosecutors were people of color. Notably, 44% were Black and 21% were Hispanic. Racial disparities on capital punishment persist to this day. While Black and Hispanic people represent just 31% of the U.S. population, they represent 50%, 53% of death row inmates at 41.9% and 11.3% respectively. Furthermore, the death penalty is more likely to be recommended when a victim of the crime is white rather than Black. Despite the fact that Black men are more likely victims of homicide last year, the Trump administration called upon federal prosecutors to pursue the death penalty in cases dealing in extremely large quantities of drugs. If this directive survives litigation, it is expected to worsen racial disparities in the application of the death penalty, as Black people are far more likely than white people to be arrested, charged, convicted, and incarcerated for drug crimes, even though they use and sell drugs at similar rates. Number 2, impose mandatory life sentences for individuals with 3 or more felony convictions. This crime bill implemented a rash of new 3-strike laws that impose automatic life sentences for people convicted for certain felony offenses if they already had 2 convictions on their record. Dozens of states followed suit and enacted the 3 strikes law, resulting in ballooning of incarceration rates of certain states, especially for Black and Latino Americans. Imposing life sentences simply because an individual had a criminal record disproportionately targets people of color, who are more likely to have a record in the first place because of unequal contact with police and the justice system. Harsh collateral consequences, limited employment opportunities for returning people, especially people of color, and increase the likelihood of recidivism. I can't pronounce civilism. Recidivisms. I can't pronounce that one. The crime bill's three strikes provision sent thousands of Americans to prisons for life based on previous offenses for minor crimes such as stealing loose change from a parked car. In 2016, 78.5% of Americans serving life sentences in federal prisons were people of color. Hundreds of Americans would die in prison as a result of the three strikes law. Some states have reorganized the damage and disproportionate effect of that three strike sentencing have on communities of color, especially black communities, and have undergone major reform effects. In California, for instance, black people were 12 times more likely than white people to be incarcerated under the three strikes law until the state passed the Three Strikes Reform Act of 2012. This act amended the law to require one-third strikes to be serious, a violent felony, and allow those currently serving three strike sentences to petition their courts for a reduction of their term. However, 28 states still have the three strike sentences on the books. In Maryland, Mississippi, and Louisiana, black people alone constitute approximately three-quarters of those sentenced to life in prison. While the federal government recently replaced its mandatory life sentence with a 25-year minimum sentence, it's neglected to apply this charge retroactively, meaning that hundreds of Americans will die in prison as a result of the three strikes law. And number three, levied harsh new penalties for justice involving youth. The crime bill also, the crime bill also expanded the school to prison pipeline and increased racial disparities in juvenile justice involvement by creating draconian penalties for so-called super predators. So what we were labeled as low-income children of color, especially black children who are convicted in multiple crimes. Among other things, the crime bill allowed prosecutors to charge 13-year-old children as adults for certain crimes. Y'all see this? As a result, today, 2/3 of Americans who were sentenced to life in prisons as juvenile are black juveniles of color, also constitute the majority of cases that are transferred to adult criminal court, regardless of the offense category. Additionally, the bill included an increase in funding. Additionally, the bill included an increase in funding for school resource officers. These school-based licensed police officers can make arrests and are sometimes armed depending on the local jurisdiction. So they put more police in school. This increase exacerbated the school to prison pipeline for black children, as SRO are twice as likely to discipline black students compared to white students. See? These officers are more likely to discipline the black students as compared to the white student. The bill also called for sentencing enhancement for youth who are convicted of certain offenses and believed to be associated with gangs. However, while white youth represent a significant portion of self-identified gang members at 40%, law enforcement report that 90% of gang members are people of color. Now, see that? As a result, police and prosecutors are more likely to target people of color as for suspected gang association, even though a significant portion of whites are identified as gang members, 40%. The conclusion here is the legacy of the Violent Crime Control and Law Enforcement Act of 1994 continued to harm communities of color. It is past time for lawmakers to dismantle these harmful policies and enact comprehensive public safety solutions to reduce reliance on incarceration, prevent unnecessary criminalization, and eliminate draconian laws keeping millions of Americans in prison. See, do we have people like Domo, Slow Mo, who wants us to trust these politicians? Wants to come on there and belittle people because he went to Brown Nose College. And I'm still challenging you to this day to pull up the tape of you talking to your white students or your white debate friends or foes like you talk to us. Let me share something else with you real quick, then we can get up out of here. Hold up. Let's see. Keep saying we'll get up out of here. Hold up. Yeah, here we go. All right. See my screen and see. All right. Let me know my screen showing, Karima. Here we go. All right. So this is where I've been, and I would recommend this to anybody to get into the information technology support type of career or trade or whatever you want to call it. Right now, I'm 48% done with the certificate. I know the hardest part is going to be to pass the exam and remember a lot of this stuff. But this is one of the fastest growing trades that's out there, and you can come from any walk of life. Corey told me he's now doing it. Corey's a real fast reader and learner, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's like at 60 or 70% right now. It's just that me, I have this roofing. I've been on working 10 hours and doing other classes, fired with my obligations with my probation type stuff. But if you can fit this into your life, it will be very helpful to get your foot in the door with Google IT support. The brother Kaya does classes, him and Thunder on Tuesday on the Dagger Squad. I think if I could spend, they tell you when you take the class, if you can do 10 hours a week in this class, you have it done within 6 months. But as much time as I spend on social media, 10 hours a week is nothing. And sometimes what really speed up my process is when if I do go visit other platforms, I'd be like, you know what? I'm gonna go do a live on this dude and bust his head real quick. And then my other some of the assignments say, no, JJ, go ahead and jump on your training on something that the time can be worth something. The time is valuable to you because we lose a lot of time on the internet going back and forth arguing useless arguments or a pissing contest. It's a waste of time, So they have a whole bunch of different courses that you can take on here. So I would advise anybody, to check it out. But like I say, me personally, that's why y'all really see me on the internet as much because I'm trying to refocus and do something that's more positive, more beneficial. Really, right now, I hate construction. I hate roofing because there's a lot of politics in it. There's a lot of politics in it, and it's hard work. And these people, what they want to do in these companies, when it's this time of year, they want to work you. You get a lot of overtime. But when it slow down, if you're not in the click, they're letting your ass go. And I can trust and believe. I know I'll be on the chopping block first because there's not too many brothers up there that's even doing that type of work. It's more Hispanics and whites. And trust me, that's how they want to keep it. So we can start learning how to do our own or working from home. This is this field I'm getting into. This is something you can do from home. Real talk. But other than that, Karima, any last words? Other than that, we're gonna get up out of here. Get up out of here with the song. Peace and blessings. We will try to go live a little more, but I want to talk about more educational stuff. For real. Something that that's valuable to it. It means something. Is that me sharing? Is that you, Karima? That's me. Let me stop sharing. That's you.
Yeah, they criminals. Politics, they is the biggest criminals. They've been committing crimes, murders, scamming, all kinds of stuff. But we supposed to trust these people.
What's that article about there? Let me see. It's kind of blurry. It says list of American federal policies convicted. Oh, federal politicians convicted of crime. See what I'm saying? Yeah. Oh, they get caught all the time. But I don't know. We got a lot of people that's they want us to trust to the look at that, a whole list of them. They want us to trust into these same people that made all these laws against us. And I don't know. But I thank everybody for listening for the hour and 26 minutes. But like I said, if you can go back and see the whole show over there on Chris MVP Harris show, and the majority of the time you're gonna hear Domo, and he already admitted that he just like hearing himself talk. So why can we take a guy like that serious? You don't even respect nobody else's talk time or their opinion or their perspective on something. It's all about Domo. Yeah, I wish I could see that list. I would read some of it, but yeah. Let me see if I can see some of it. Yeah, I can't. I ain't got the TV on. But yeah, she got the list of people: George W. Bush, executive branch as a whole. People, a lot of people on there that were convicted. I mean, they all get caught doing something. Look at Trump; he fighting the law. Hillary Clinton was fighting the law at one time. They call her the Clinton crime family. They've been like a mob or something. I heard that family being called that. So I don't know how the political plug. I mean, when you ask the political plug basic questions,
You muted yourself.
my fault. I was talking and it was mute. But like I said, this political plug guy, he wants us to, believe in these politicians, and here's a whole list of them. It's just crooked.
Yeah, it's a whole list on their terms, and a lot of them been convicted of different things, including murder.
Wow. hmm That's a long list too. But those are the Barack Obama presidency, the Clinton presidency, the Bush. But he wants us. Oh well, you don't have to deal with the just deal with local votes and voting, and don't worry about the people who's running the country. These are the ones that's in Congress voting on things that benefits other people and not us. I showed you there was a black caucus that was trying to, hey, no, we want this, and they had selective hearing. So no, that's why I don't really like dealing with politics. I don't waste my time voting. Well, you dumb for not voting. You should get in there and place your vote. So now I said, well, who do you vote for? Now you can't give us an answer. So yeah, I'm pretty much done, Creamer. So after you show that, we can get up out of here. Peace to Shaka and Blizzak and Def Chef. Who else out here? Salaya Binyah. Peek in here. Tyrone, who gets blocked. Dennis Thorpe. He said Domo is not a Christian. He might be confused, but he's definitely not a Christian. And you know what, Domo? I mean, Dennis, Google Scholar, you're right, because he claims he's a Christian, but he protects like atheist type of conversations. He leans more that way. He mocks other Christians and Israelites, people who believe in the Bible. So, like I say, this is why the title is Domo is a confused Christian and political advocate. That's no disrespect. He shows the contradictions if you let him speak long enough. Yep. Sister Alaya, peace. Afro-Asiatic. Who else up? Sister Hazel. Peace and blessings. Corey was in there. TNBN. Peace. Trident Finder. Peace. Plus Beats. Old school in the building. Yeah. Babylon done. Been rambling, speaking, rambunctious. Right. You offended me. You said I was rambling. Like, oh wow, that was like a low blow to this guy. Yeah, man. I am Manos. Peace to the Queen. Renegade J. God mine. I see you in the building. Outside the cube. Yeah, you can't use that patient shit on YouTube because in 5 minutes you lose your teeper and be a goddamn hypocrite. Right. He up here preaching. The brother up here at Cube, yeah, he up here preaching. Yeah, we got to have compassion and patience. You know, he doing his political speech and all this. And then in 5 minutes later, he's sitting up here calling me dumb. He calling me stupid. I mean, come on, man. What's wrong with this guy? The gingerbread man in the building. Brown nose college. Yeah, that's where the dude went. Zion facts in the building. We don't know what Zion talking about. I mean, not Zion, but Domo, slow mo. You know. Jada Snake the Great in the building. Peace to everybody. You know. Roll up another one in the building. Dominique Liddell stopped in. So appreciate you. Yeah. I mean, brother Desharp, that sharp Mississippi Mud in the building. Appreciate y'all. But yeah. I like to do more talks on something that's more meaningful. You know, and we got the political plug running around here trying to tell us how to vote and what we should vote and all that. He don't give us no answers. He's a walking contradiction. But yeah, that's all I got today, Karima. So let's get up out of here. Song, stay tuned this weekend. Corey be debating. I can't think of the other brother name. Kareem, who's that brother? Corey debating. Let me look up his name. I forgot who it is. I apologize, but I posted on my timeline. Damn. Oh, and I think his name is Andrew the Great. Andrew, he changed his name so many times. Andrew the Hunter Beast. Andrew he got 3 names. But Takora be debating him this Saturday on the Lions Den.
And Andre Hint.
Yeah, what was it? What is it again?
Hint.
Yeah, something like that. I apologize, brother.
Hint or Hunt?
Hunt. There you go.
Hunt.
Andrew Hunt. Andrew the Hunt. Yeah. He changed his name, Andrew the Hunter Beast, Andrew the Student. I know y'all seen him around. There's a couple of different names. He'll be challenging to Corey TKO Dawson, People's Champ, in a debate. Did the Ten Commandments? Were the Ten Commandments influenced by the 42 Negative Confessions of Ma'at? That's coming this Saturday. We check that out. But yeah, peace and blessings, everybody. Thank y'all for listening. Domo, I hope you're seeing yourself. Domo said that he was an ally to the LGBT community. Ask him if he's marching with them on their parades. I didn't hear him say that. But we up out of here. Peace. There you go.
That's a flyer.
Yeah. Is the Torah influenced by Ma'at? That's June 30th, 5 p.m. Central. That's Central Standard Time. So that'd be 7 o'clock Eastern Time. July 30th is going down. It's Corey TKO getting back in the ring. So yeah, we out.
I'll praise you, Most High. Yeah, that sound good, y'all. Hello. What we doing?
Hey, cook that up, Khalid.
We still getting to the money, got these haters in they fear. Lil' homie, let them chill. Most I told me vengeance hit my enemies, my footstools. We ain't got no beef for real. Fuck this shit, this how we live. Look here, homie, we still getting to the money, got these haters in they fear. Lil' homie, let them chill. Most I told me vengeance hit my enemies, my footstools. We ain't got no beef for real. Fuck this shit, this how we live. Look here, homie, be still. They said you got the call, they trying to blackball you. Play what they own, bro. You can't blackball a boss. The whole world, they hate Israel. The way you hate your neighbor, might as well pull the trigger on yourself. You know we get excited by the smoke. Every day we casting flesh. Say my treasure stored in heaven, we gon' blow the rest. They disrespecting and we check. Debate that causing kept it still. They asking others about my business, but I ain't got no instant miss. See, I still deal with ox direct. Cause your person don't mean you respect. Your outlet don't get no credit if the ox ain't in it. Money answer all things and you got all these questions. Playing Vic. Look, I employ slavery. I'll if you broke your head. Yeah, them crews in the hood, Jews in the hood. I caught them clues, now I'm good. I broke it down, he understood my all to you. Filtered through, you found a few, I'm good. We what we sold, this here exclusive. They like, hey, folk, look what you doing. We still getting to the money, got these haters in they fear. Lil' homie, let them chill. Most I told me vengeance hit my enemies, my footstools. We ain't got no beef for real. Fuck this here, this how we live. Look here, homie, we still getting to the money, got these haters in they fear. Lil' homie, let them chill. Most I told me vengeance hit my enemies, my footstools. We ain't got no beef for real. Fuck this here, this how we live. Look here, homie, be still. Most I told me be still, give a room to work. Know my movie work. Your faith ain't good, don't put the work in. In the spirit flexing, that my day job. Getting the mode out my own, I don't know what they are. Before I got the blueprint, and I'm too legit to quit. Let it spark in the dark, be a light, got it lit. Trying to map my movement, got my haters pondering. The odds set the question there, they wanna know if you still lit. It hit different, you authentic, a lot of odds pretending. We do it for the Lord, got my own motion, who are you to judge? The most high first, none above. Tech in the spirit, we locked in, they'll come against your plot. You know Judas said, yeah, we spit them scripts, they barely not. Came on slave ships, then you not black. You know they tell you everything. Isaiah 30:20, yeah, we bad. You see what happened when they tried to rail the train up off the track. False witness, hypocrite. We throw shots back, now they feel heat. Must go get it. We still getting to the money, got these haters in they fear. Lil' homie, let them chill. Most I told me vengeance hit my enemies, my footstools. We ain't got no beef for real. Fuck this here, this how we live. Look here, homie, we still Get into the money, got these haters in they feel. Lil' homie, let them chill. Most I told me finches here. My enemies, my footstools. We ain't got no beef for real. Hard to see this how we live. Look here, homie, be still.
Yeah. Peace.